Hello everyone, welcome. Today we are back. It's been a while, it's been quite a while. We are in Enthusia Professional Racing, the Konami attempt to take down Gran Turismo in this simcade market. Play it, PS2 exclusive. Really cool game. Welcome Drag Racing Gamer Crew, hope you're doing well today. And I forgot what vehicle we left off on. It was actually the Land Cruiser 100 in an attempt to get every single vehicle to level 10. So we're going to be starting this off racing an SUV. I'm sure nothing go wrong with this. The thing with this though is because it has randomly generated events, it normally tries to put you against vehicles that are reasonably competitive against you, but like not, you know, too much so. So for example, in this one, you can see the odds system. Since we're starting in the front, it means we are in one of the slower vehicles. The higher the number, the more difficult the race. And up against everything from old Mustangs and Firebirds to slightly more modern Camaros, and then the Audi RS6. I think we're probably going to end up losing to the RS6. But we should be able to beat a decent chunk of everyone else in the Land Cruiser. The Land Cruiser actually punches a decent amount above its weight class. Due to its four-wheel drive system. The game definitely underrates all-wheel drive cars a little bit more than it should. And look at that, that is so cool. It's the luxury package as well. And it's got a fairly powerful engine. Alright, they're gonna make a mess on the corner. Yes! Welcome Ford Show BGT. I know you've been waiting for this for a while. I'm probably planning in the future to kind of alternate each week between this and Car Mechanic Simulator. Just so that, you know, this doesn't become like a too much of one or the other. Get a good mix of that in there. And that RS6 already very out in front of everybody else. Got the Camaro just behind us. Gonna run just a little bit wide because otherwise they're gonna keep rear-ending us. Alright, so they're still being dirty even when we're giving them space. I'm hoping that these two can kind of, you know, fight it out a little bit. But right now, instead, the Camaro is choosing to fight with me. Come on, get in front so I can slipstream you. There we go. But yeah, this game, it's definitely closer to the sim end of the spectrum, especially for a PS2 game. Like, the physics are fairly solid in it. And it's just a really solid game. Like, if you've already kind of beaten, you know, Gran Turismo 3, Gran Turismo 4 so many times, and you want something else, you know, that's kind of similar for, like, the PlayStation 2 era consoles, highly recommend checking this one out. Definitely a very underrated game. And I think, especially with the advent of sim racing nowadays, I think it would be, like, if Konami, you know, because Konami still has the IP licensing for this title. It'd be cool if Konami made, like, something like this for, like, the PC. I think it would be a very solid. Oh gosh, brakes are a thing that do not exist on this car. Because it's a massive SUV. Okay. But yeah, with the advent of, like, you know, sim racing on PC, Konami could really turn this into a very solid, you know, aesthetic course competitor where it has a good variety of street and racing cars and everything like that. And I think it would perform quite well, actually. Obviously, you need to update the car list a little bit with a little bit more modern vehicles, because most of these vehicles, because this game came out in 05, most of these vehicles are well over almost 2 decades old now. You can probably keep most of the classic cars in this game the same, reacquire the rights for them and everything, but you could probably get a good mix of more modern vehicles as well as some basically would be considered retro cars from like the late 90s, early 2000s as well. And have a good mix kind of throughout the time period. Keep the same kind of racing structure and everything with the odd systems, with, you know, the randomly generated events that kind of react to what kind of vehicle you're driving, so that you're always semi-competitive, even if you're driving, you know, a vehicle that's very out there and probably doesn't actually belong on a racetrack, like the Toyota Land Cruiser. Look at this big brick. Alright, let's at least get back up in the third, get ahead of this Firebird. We are in the more modern vehicle. We should have more mechanical grip, even if we do have a lot more weight. The brakes though, the brakes are very sus. Alright, you're gonna close the door on us, that's fine. Ah, it's pulling away. It's got a little bit more speed than us on the straightaways, but we should do some of the twisty bits. We should be able to catch it back up with it. Because with this game, the vehicle tire grip is based off of not only how wide your wheels are, but also based off of what year, what year your vehicle is. So older vehicles usually have considerably less grip than modern vehicles. And even then, if it's a sports car versus if it's like a more standard vehicle, sports cars usually have a bit more grip compared to the standard counterparts. And race cars even have even more grip than that. And it all comes down, all gets calculated into basically a baseline grip coefficient. And then once you upgrade your vehicle, and you upgrade your vehicle by doing well in races with fewer assists on, for longer races and for much better finishing positions. The better you do win those races, the quicker you're able to upgrade your vehicle. And one of the upgrades is a tire upgrade, and that basically increases the modifier that gets multiplied at the end to your tires for the grip coefficient. And so you can still, even if your vehicle isn't all that, really. Oh wow. All right, this is dog water. All right, we need to adjust the gear ratio once we're done with this race because it's bogging down quite a bit in 5th gear. We can't even reach 100 miles an hour. That's not good. Oh, this is dreadful. I forgot how slow some of the SUVs were. Like they get very, very quick later on. Because most of them have naturally aspirated high displacement engines, which do get a very, very large power boost later on in the game. And because of the weights, their heavy weights, they do lose quite a bit of weight with the weight reduction upgrades that you get as well. So they do actually get quite quick once you get them to level 10. But in the early stages, in the tier, like the level 1 stages, oh gosh, they are very, very slow. Hopefully we can at least finish in the points. It's 1st through 4th that gets ranking points, and basically the best 9 races within the past 12 weeks, the total points get added together, and it goes up against a set list of AI as well, and that determines your ranking. And your ranking has to be within a certain number to enter the harder events. So our ranking is fairly high up. Our ranking is like 10 or like 11-ish. So it's very, very, very high up. The closer to 0 you get, the higher the ranking is, because that's basically where you are positioned to pretty much all the other like AI races and stuff like that in game. And it's cool because it basically means you have to enter events in a slower vehicle in order to get more ranking points, which allows you to rank up. So you can't just pick the fastest vehicle in the game and expect to get to the top of the rankings. You have to pick a fairly decent performance vehicle to be competitive, but still a vehicle that's slow enough to be to have vehicles that are decent amount faster than it. And it's all the numbers game there. Oh gosh, major understeer on that corner. This is indeed an SUV. It is a very chunky SUV as well. Got the aerodynamics of a brick. Come on, keep it steady around the corners. We're literally just throwing this SUV around the Nordschleife. And while it's able to handle the bumps and everything, and its four-wheel drive system means it's incredibly stable, no spins, none of that stuff. It does make it just a little bit tricky for some of the higher speed corners, because it doesn't quite have the aerodynamic grip, and doesn't quite want to bite in at the entrance of the corners. We are slowly catching up to the Firebird. Firebird is surprisingly quick. Normally older vehicles perform a little bit worse than the game thinks they will. But here, here, it's doing very well. Come on. Give me a little bit of speed. Yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely set the vehicle up for more acceleration later down the line, probably after this race. What's the red line on this anyway? Oh, cool. 4,500. Perfect. At least we're reaching 100 miles an hour now. Let me go a little bit quicker. I know we have the uphill section in just a second. Alright, so at least here, when the road is mostly flat, we can reach about 120, which is a solid-ish speed for an SUV. With the uphill though, we are slowly slowing down just a little bit. You can see the needle, the RPM needle going just a little bit back towards the 3 until we got to the top. There we go. Now we got a short downhill section. Get a little bit more speed. And we're gonna need to brake super early, probably around here-ish. Just get it to slow down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. I could probably brake a little bit later there, but I wanted to be on the safe side. And a solid 4th place. Sub 10-minute lap time though in the ring, which for an SUV is decent. Oh yeah, that poor Mustang, the 66 Mustang GT. Definitely one of the slower vehicles in that performance range. Nice. There we go. And here we go. We can see. All right. So our weight has been reduced. We have a level 1 weight savings now, which is good. We didn't get a whole lot of points though here. Yeah, our ranking is going to decrease quite a bit. As long as we stay within 50, we are good. We are solid. Right. But usually we want to try to get it as low as possible, or get a ranking basically as close to 1 as possible. But as long as we're within 50, we can enter the RS events in most instances. Now this week, thankfully, it's a free week because as long as we beat 0 points, we are good. So we can enter some of the lower tier events here, and maybe either race in a course we haven't raced in a while, or potentially unlock a vehicle. Maybe. I think we've unlocked most of the multi-purpose vehicles. Yeah, as you can see, we're a bit later into the career mode. We've unlocked most of these vehicles. If they're like kind of that blue color, it means we've already won them, and they are available to us. We don't have to purchase cars in this game. It basically just comes down to switching to that vehicle. We can switch to it whenever we choose, which is nice. But I always like to kind of double check if there's anything we haven't won. Because occasionally, especially when you get close to the end, there's a few vehicles that just, like to hide away from you. And it seems a little bit interesting hunting them down. Sometimes you gotta drive like a really, really obscure car to find some of the other really, really obscure cars. And yeah, okay. So none of that. Cool. Alright, if that's the case, we're gonna do something a little bit fun. We're gonna do the Sunday race here in Macrostrada. Little town in Venice. Cute little circuit, sub-mile long. And it's fairly simplistic. Midnight, welcome to the stream, hope you're doing well. There we go. I forgot that this game is one of the quieter games. So the game audio is probably a little bit quieter. Alright, we got the Lancia 037 just to the right of us. The street legal version of the Group B rally car that really took it to the Audi Quattro. One of the few rear-wheel drive only Group B cars that was really solid. Playing some more Mario Kart Arcade. Yeah, you mentioned that in the Discord. That's really cool that you can play basically like the equivalent of like an arcade cabinet right from the Wii and everything with the console modding. Very cool. I need to get a functional Wii, or maybe there's like an emulator that can allow you to like mod it or something like that. Playing a modded, emulating a modded console on PC. It's like the inception layer. It's like how much more you're gonna mess with the software until you're just making it do cartwheels for you. That's stuff that is well above my skill level. I am very much yeah, I can understand what you're saying when you're explaining code to me, but I can't code myself. I can decipher your code probably, but not much else. Meet the first game kind of. So it actually has like a, for like a better word, like a story or like a career mode or whatever, the arcade games. That's pretty cool. It's almost like the I know for some other like Japanese arcades, like the One Gun Midnights and the Initial D arcade stages, those ones also kind of have like mini like little stories and stuff like that, where you know you as you progress through them, you do gradually kind of level up your car, and you do you kind of complete like different like story missions and stuff, which is really cool. And then you can kind of save that on like the magnetic cards and everything, so that no matter where you go, as long as they have the same type of arcade cabinet, you can load up your save, which is really cool. There's an arcade that's about 40 minutes away from me that has some of the One Gun Midnight games on it, but they're always sold out of those save cards. So I instead play the Initial D arcade games instead. Basically, it's like the GPs from the console games. Oh, okay, cool, very nice. Basically, you just kind of gradually go through them one after the other until you get all of them, all of them, get the gold cup and all of them. Very nice. I wonder if there's a mod, or is people working on a mod to add some of those courses from like the arcade cabinets to like either the Wii or like a GameCube or some other like console version of a game. Since these games almost are basically like either the equivalent of the game, like a modded GameCube game already, or like a modded Wii game. Be kind of cool. I'd imagine it would probably, the physics between both games would be very similar, and the coding would probably be semi-similar as well. So it might be kind of cool if like they have games that weren't available in the Wii that are available in arcade mode. Create like a couple of custom cups from that and put it in the Wii version. That'd be cool. The modding console games is like really cool because I don't know, it's just very different. It's like almost like speaking an entirely different language and working with the software there. Have to beat all the cups and unlock the special version. Basically, all it does is make the first two courses backwards. Oh, that's a little bit lame for Nintendo to do that. That's it. You go through, you beat all of that, and it's just, hey, you wanna do it again but backwards? I'm not the biggest fan of mirror cups. But that I know that is a me issue. Still though, I mean it's still really cool that you managed to get through that. Must have been pretty quick, I guess, because with arcade games they're designed to almost be beaten in like a day or so. Ooh. Do we want to do this? Not quite, because those vehicles are usually pretty heavily tuned and usually have quite a bit of issues. And after that, you play the game again, but now at 150cc. Oh, cool. So you're really you're really going quite quick. Very nice. Jeez, there isn't really any good race. Let's do the Victoria Road challenge. It's been a while since we've done this one. I haven't raced on Victoria Road in a while. In London. The Big Bong. I did the first set of cups. I mean, still, you managed to get through all of that and unlock the special cups and everything. And the special cups are basically just more the same, but a little bit quicker. I mean, I'd count that as at least, you know, for lack of a better words, like an any percent run. Okay, so 3 more sets left. Nice, nice, nice. Best of luck with that. How do the carts handle in the arcade part of the game as well? Like, is it just the like, do they handle just like the GameCube version, like Double Dash carts, or similar-ish, or is it kind of closer to the Wii version, or is it something entirely different? Like, does it feel good to play? Oh, also, as you guys can probably hear, I'm gonna shut up after I mention this for a second so you can hear it. But as the engine upgrades as well, it does change the sound of the engine and various other components of the vehicle. Like, for example, if I let off the gas, you can hear a little bit in the background of the blow-off valve of the engine, and that gets more and more aggressive for turbocharged cars like the Land Cruiser, which is really cool. And it was like any Mario Kart game I ever played. Oh dear. That's either a really, really good thing or a really, really bad thing. Here's hoping it's a really, really good thing. That was a smooth overtake on the MR2. Very, very nice. Kind of sneak up the big SUV down the inside. Hopefully it is a good thing. Easy. There we go. Very nice. Very smooth. Vaguely smooth, anyway. Yeah, it's a bit strange at first. Maybe because it's designed for arcades and not a Wii classic controller pro. Got used to it. Nice. Good. Yeah, I imagine it was probably like the arcades. They probably use something like you know, with the wheel and regular pedal assemblies and everything like that. So I wonder. It probably doesn't have motion controls though, but if it does, I wonder if the Wii. Oh dear, heavy understeer there. If like using like the Wii wheel or something like that will allow it to be a bit more playable. Oh, come on, you big brick. Oh, there goes MR2. It's got quite a bit more speed, but we should have a lower speed cornering ability. The MR2 does not. It doesn't have motion controls. Oh, okay. So it's basically you are basically, you know, just kind of you kind of stuck to a regular controller. Okay. Looks better for pound control. That's good. That's definitely very, very good. I always thought about maybe, like, you know, obviously not right now because finances and everything, but it'd be kind of cool to, like, open up an arcade myself and have both a kind of a good mix of, like, the classic and the modern games and everything. Especially the classic games. I love, like, a lot of, like, the older arcade games from, like, pretty much the 80s up until, like, the early 2000s. All of them are really, really cool. I kind of miss arcades. There used to be an arcade somewhat close to me, but it shut down, I think like 2006-ish, and then they just couldn't keep open. But it had so many cool like racing games. So, like, it had the Sega GT, I think it was, arcade cabinet, where you had the choice between the Dodge Viper, the Porsche 911, the McLaren F1, and the Ferrari 50 GT or something like that. And it was basically it was on the same physics engine as like the it was basically off of the same physics engine as like Daytona USA, but it was with like GT cars and everything. It was more complex tracks. Okay, I was curious in the playing Chemical Simulator Racing. I recommend you unlock before you do barn finds. Before you do barn finds, I have to recommend you unlock The ability to restore body panels? Maybe. That's kind of a maybe. But at the very least, unlock the paint shop. Unlock the paint shop is a very, very solid one to do. And if there's any other, like, areas in your garage that you need to unlock with, like, a certain amount of experience points or money or whatever, that are directly related to the vehicle restoration. Like, not necessarily diagnostic areas, like, you don't necessarily need, like, the test path or whatever, but at the very least, unlock the paint shop. It doesn't really improve value all that much, but for me, it just bothers me, you know, quote unquote restoring the vehicles and not having the, you know, the painted, like the fully painted, body panels and everything. Also have to mention that the game features Pac-Man characters. Oh, sweet! Very, very cool. So you have like the Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Inky, Blinky, Clyde. It's what? Inky, Blinky, Tinky, and I think it's like Clyde is the last one, or something like that. Yeah. So there's one that's like named like a completely different, named something completely different. Oh yeah, also, highly recommend you unlock the tablet as well. Tablet is your best friend when unlocking vehicle, when restoring vehicles, because you're gonna be buying a lot of parts as well. Just Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, and Blink. Oh, okay. I mean, it's still a decent selection from, you know, people from basically quote unquote like not Nintendo characters and everything. Like that is still very, very solid. Alright, they did tablet. Good. Tablet is basically your best friend in pretty much any car mechanic simulator game. It is going to be the one thing that you will always need, no matter what you're working on. It just makes it so much easier because you can just buy the parts there instead of having to get away from the vehicle, walk to the computer, and everything like that. Ooh. Alright, launch 037, passing us very, very quickly. But we get to fly over with the jets. All the high-performance sports cars are passing us very, very quickly. Because they have a lot more, they have a much better power-to-weight ratio than us. Finally hit the 100,000 milestone in the game. Good. If you get the paint shop unlocked, you should be able to do at least like 1 or 2 restorations, depending on the initial price of the vehicle. Get those, buy the parts and everything, get it restored, and then you can sell it, make a bit of profit with quite a bit of experience gained as well. And basically, you can kind of do like a hybrid of that and the regular jobs to keep kind of making more and more money until you start, you know, until you get to the point where you can pretty much do only the restorations without needing anything else. Oh boy, we're dueling neck and neck. We got a heavy turbocharged SUV versus the street version of Lancia's Group B car. Very, very rapid. Very lightweight. It's got a supercharged inline 4-cylinder just in front of us. Cool thing about the 037, even though it looks like it was based off the Lancia Monte Carlo, there was some major differences, and really only the silhouette is the same. For example, the big difference between the two vehicles is the engine in the Monte Carlo is mounted transversely. So basically, cylinder 1 to cylinder 4 are basically parallel with the rear axle. And the 037, the engine is mounted longitudinally in the rear instead, which means it's perpendicular to the rear axle. Man, it takes her to get an XP point once you get past level 10. Yeah, one thing I found is that jobs usually allow you, they give you a little bit of a bonus XP when you complete them, which is very, very helpful for leveling up. But yeah, leveling up does take a very, very long time, especially in Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. which I believe Car Mechanic Simulator Racing is based off of, is based on the console version of. But yeah, no, it takes a very, very long time to level up in the later stages of the game. Big thing is just, you know, focus on getting as many jobs done as possible, especially some of the quicker jobs, because you get a bonus like 100 XP when you complete a job, even if it's something simple like, hey, my exhaust is loud, so you just replace one exhaust part, and then you get some bonus, XP. No, it's autocorrect, I meant 2018. Okay, yeah. So 2018, from what I gather, is probably the one where the grind to get things unlocked is the worst of the, basically the 4 main games, 2014, 2015, 2018, and 2021, is what I have been told. So it does make it a little bit tricky to level up. But once you do level up, though, money is fairly easy to come by. Restoring vehicles gives you quite a bit, especially if you do a lot of like the performance upgrades and everything onto the engine, because that really improves the value of the vehicle. But I don't always like doing it. Sometimes I like keeping the vehicle mostly stock, just because, I don't know, I'm a bit of a purist sometimes. And it's cool just testing how the vehicle handles stock as well. Don't get out of the way. There we go. Alright, we should be able to hold on to a 3rd place position. For me, I want to get that restoration bonus. Yeah, for that, basically, I think it determines it based off of like how many things are at like 100% or close to it. So it goes off of the 4 main bars up at the top right when you go to the vehicle status, which is like the start, like kind of like the start of the rate of the restoration bonus. And for each one, that's like, I think it's like 90% or it's like 100%, somewhere in that range. You get additional money for the restoration bonus, which basically allows you to get some more additional money. But I usually try to get everything to 100%, even like the interior stuff and everything, because that improves the base vehicle value, which is nice too, because that helps you make money. All of it's really good. And for the most part, unless you like really mess up, like you can quite literally buy completely new components for everything, and you should be able to still make money restoring the vehicle and then selling it, unless you like spend like a massive amount at auction, or you know, like the occasionally barn finds sell for like a lot more than what the vehicle is valued at. Sometimes you don't make nearly as much money, but like for the most part, it's usually pretty difficult to do a full restoration, sell it, and not make, you know, a decent profit back. Plus the fun of doing the restoration and, you know, completely working on and having free reign to build a vehicle how you want is part of the charm as well. Can you spend more than that's worth the auction? More often than not, yeah. So you usually gotta try to find like the good deals and everything like that. The vehicles that'll, you know, make you a lot of money when they are sold and everything, that do get the massive value when they are, like, you know, in good condition, but are currently in really poor condition, because then you do, so like you get major margins of profit for that. Also, do not underestimate the junkyard, especially once you have the ability to restore body panels. Once you can restore body panels, going to the junkyard and filling yourself up with body panels and just restoring all of them and selling them can net you an insane amount of money if you're willing to kind of, you know, go through all the menus and everything. You get a lot of money by doing that. So it's if you're kind of short on cash, that could be another thing to consider as well. Oh gosh, yeah, we don't have any chance against a roof CTR. I am not going to delude myself one bit into thinking that I have a chance against a roof CTR. Alright, here we're up against Saab, Lancia Delta Integrale, Silvia S15. and a Toyota Supra. Is that a Supra? That is indeed a Supra. So this should be interesting. Although this is on one of my favorite tracks. Autumn Mountain and Autumn Hill. Just with the fall leaves and everything. Absolutely gorgeous track in the game. I love my fall tracks. That also is usually one of the tracks I'm better at as well, because it's got a lot of fast flowing corners that are easy to defend on. So if you have a slower vehicle, it's usually pretty good. You can kind of, you know, hog an inner line. What I like about the game is it's relaxing and very easy to grind. I just can put my basic all night and forget about time. That being said though, make sure you get a lot of sleep though. Because grind is temporary, but you know, sleep deprivation and like the health complications that arise from that is very much eternal. So please make sure you get, you know, lots of sleep. Do not mess up your sleep schedule. I say as someone who has a completely messed up sleep schedule and is a very sleep deprived engineer. Do as I say, not as I do. No, I'm loving the current job. I got to design a dual variable speed switch, which is really cool. Basically, I should immediately go from forward to reverse when things like a hand drill or whatever, and with the rocker arm assembly. And it's really cool because basically it's you know, super quick. Normally with like a lot of other drills, you can like have to like go the button and then flip the switch like the other way around to get it to go in the reverse version or the forward version. This one is literally just, oh, there's, you know, two buttons, press this button, it goes this way, press the other button, it goes the other way. But with the assembly as well, when it prevents you from pressing both and messing up the electrical motor, which is very nice, very cool. And it's one of the first projects I was on at the new job, and it was a lot of fun. Get to design a whole bunch of various electromechanical components. Which, you know, this isn't quite in my warehouse, but I've been learning a lot. And it is very nice, very fun. It's my favorite track of the game because the tree sections look absolutely amazing. Yeah, they did a really good job with this track. Like, I know for a 2005 game it does look a little bit rough around the edges, especially compared to like Gran Turismo 4, which came out just a bit before this. But like some of the tracks in the game, like this one, the Mystic Caveway and Bergenschlucht all look absolutely amazing. It just looks really good. The inline 4 front-wheel drive for the transmission work because you have to put it down and then back up just for the starter. True. That is very true. So you got to make sure. But if you start the vehicle down, you get the starter first. It does make it a lot easier. You just have to remind yourself like what vehicles have the front-wheel drive inline 4. There's a few rear-wheel drive cars as well, like the Maserati Sebring and the Sakura GT20, that even though they're rear-wheel drive, they do have the starter in the engine bay as well, just as a heads up. So you do need to watch that. But once you begin memorizing what vehicles have that little gotcha, you can then be like, oh yeah, the vehicle's already down, let's just take that out. Alright, cool, let's lift it up, do the transmission work. Alright, that's done, put it back down, put it back in. And it does, usually, once you're used to that, it doesn't take too much more time. Maybe like an extra minute at most. So, you know, that's not too bad. There we go. Very solid, very consistent lap time as well. Only lost to the Supra. Very nice. We beat a lot of other very fast vehicles, including the Lancia Delta Integrale. the other Lancia road car based on the rally car. Ah, I miss the old Lancia. What happened to them? Now they just make a rebadge Fiat 500 and a rebadged Chrysler 300. Oh, the pain. What happened? What happened to them? They used to make rally cars. Like one of the most famous vehicles is literally a rally car powered by a Ferrari engine, and now they're like, guys, we don't have any cars. We forgot to build the cars. The pain. Ooh. Ooh. This one could be an interesting one. Let's do it. We'll be going up against a Mustang in the snow. We will have that four-wheel drive grip, but we will have considerably less power, considerably less cornering ability compared to the Mustang. So this will be an interesting matchup. We do have that low-end torque, though. There we go. Launching the starts. Oh, it doesn't want to turn. Okay, cool. So basically, we're going to have to kind of use the low-speed acceleration of the Land Cruiser to kind of get ourselves out of this mess. Little jump there. Alright, brake really, really early because we're in the snow and... oh, it is very slippery. Very slidey. Oh boy. Come on. Give me some speed. Under the bridge, by the river. This is a really pretty track as well. With the snow. Like this is how you design a snowy track. You know, you still put it in civilization, you still make lots of like, you know, cool aesthetics around it. It's basically like, you know, European town in winter. And it just looks really, really good. Like a lot of other places are like, snow, we need a snow track. But where do we put it? I don't know. Where should we put around it? Well, nothing. And it's just kind of in the middle of nowhere. Looking at you, Ice Arena from Gran Turismo 4. So this is definitely a much better way to do snowy racetracks. It looks good. It's got, you know, cool little jumps. It uses aspects from other tracks that you're familiar with. Like this first section here is the first couple of corners from the Bergenschutz course. But instead of continuing to the left there, we go to the right here. Or something along that lines. Basically, it takes us on a different side street in the town. But otherwise, yeah, this is literally the Bergenschutz course. Very pretty. Very difficult though. It is a very, very, very... oh gosh, understeer, please. Let me turn. A very difficult, very tricky course. And with the fact that it has 5 laps as well, it is a very long... races on here go for a very long time as well. Which usually means you gotta make sure you just stay consistent more than anything else, don't make any mistakes. And kind of force opponents into making mistakes instead. Alright, there we go. There we go. Oh boy. Alright, so the higher speed corners aren't nearly as bad here compared to on tarmac because we can at least have some stability. We're not nearly as at risk of spinning out. We do get lots of understeer though. Major understeer on the braking corners. But at least we can keep the momentum consistent. We have somewhat neutral handling. That Mustang is keeping pace with us though, which I'm quite surprised with because that was the 4th generation Mustang. Uh, Still had a solid rear axle suspension. So especially with a fairly bumpy off-road course like this one, combined with an incredibly low grip surface, they're doing a very, very good job of controlling that high-powered rear-wheel drive machine. They're doing a really, really solid job. Come on. Give us a little bit of power up the hill. But thankfully, the low end acceleration and the four-wheel drive stability of the Land Cruiser are really, really allowing us to push through. This will make for a great, great photo. So one thing I do like about the modern racing games that older racing games don't have is the photo mode. This photo mode is very, very fun. You get to take pictures, you get to kind of archive the memories and stuff like that of like your different races, of your different adventures and everything. Funny moments, really, really cool moments, photo finishes. You know, you thought your vehicle looked really, really cool in like a certain spot, you can do that. And you can kind of get away with it a little bit with emulator by like going through the replay or like, you know, for like Midnight Club 3, going to the pause menu and kind of like rotating around your vehicle and everything and then screenshotting that. But yeah, you definitely need to kind of like work around it instead of having like an actual dedicated photo mode. Oh gosh, the understeer. Understeer. I think we only have about a lap and a half of this. Going over the jumps. Under the bridge, keeping us so basically as close to the wall as possible without touching it. This is fun though. Definitely want to go to some like rallycross races and stuff like that in the near future. The closest one to me would probably be the American Rallycross race that happens at Mid-Ohio. And that may be a solid one to go to as well because it's all right by like the keyhole section. So for the most part, you can see pretty much everything. You can see the entire Rallycross course, which is nice. I think maybe, not sure if next year or the year afterwards, but I definitely want to watch, go to a live Rallycross race. And saving that money to kind of do more like live events now that the pandemic has kind of, you know, things are opening back up. You know, people are a little bit less susceptible and stuff. I think that'd be really, really fun to do. And I'm going to be going later this month. I'm going to be going to a motorcycle race up in like Pittsburgh area, and that's gonna be really, really cool. Watching that, gonna be bringing a bunch of friends that have never been to a race before, and it's gonna be very, very fun. So I've watched a lot of the Moto America races on like YouTube and stuff, but this is gonna be my first live Moto America race, and it's gonna be really, really cool. Getting to watch them go around all the twists and turns of Pittsburgh International Raceway. Very, very fun. And since it's a double header, you get 2 days. You get 2 days of racing instead of just one. And it's so cool. Definitely hyped about that. That's going to be in a couple, like 2 weeks, I think. 2 weeks. Alright, let's keep the speed going through this corner. Yes. 4, 5. Very consistent lap times too. A lot of them right around the 135 range. That's one thing that I enjoy about like the sim racing area aspect as well. It's much easier to be consistent and kind of run within a second per lap each time. Very, very nice. Very, very cool. Because then you can just gradually learn the course, get a little bit faster each time. And it's, for some people that might seem repetitive, but for me it's exhilarating. Just get into that rhythm. There we go. Our rankings increase a little bit more. What is our tuning level now for the tuning level 8? All right, so we do have quite a bit of performance now in the Land Cruiser. We could probably do another rally race against the Mustang. It's gonna be a little bit more tricky because Mirage Crossing is a much higher speed circuit. It's not even a circuit; it's a point-to-point race in the desert. But I mean, the Land Cruiser was designed to handle deserts. So let's do this. Just gotta run a defensive line against the Mustang for the early sections. And use the torquey nature of this turbocharged inline 6. Just push through. Yes. Oh, this thing has the grip. It has the power. It has a lot of turbo pressure. You can hear that turbo just absolutely spooling up. Almost as loud as the engine itself. The exhaust is more aggressive. Get a little more intake noise as well. For certain vehicles, you can hear it go to a straight cut transmission, which is very cool. As you can kind of hear that when braking under heavy load and everything, you can kind of hear the whine of the gears. Very, very cool. Like this game has very solid sound design, especially for like a PS2 game. When a lot of other game developers were instead doing, just having a singular pitch and pitching it up or down based on your RPM. Like they add a lot more depth to the sounds of the game. Very, very nice. All right, come on, give me some speed. Through the desert, ahead of the Mustang. Alright, the Mustang's on that straight now too, though. You can see them rapidly catching us up. So we just need to push. Slowly get back on the throttle. Okay, see the chat console. There's so many good racing games on the PS2. Because it was moderately easy to develop for. And getting licenses for like cars and everything like that was cheaper compared to nowadays. You had a lot of really, really good racing games on the PS2, and that's one thing I miss about it. That's why for the most part, like I emulate like PS2 games and stuff like that for streams because there's just very solid single player experiences. Like it's probably like the 6th generation is probably like the best mix of graphical fidelity and like developer competence, so you don't have like you don't have nearly as much shovelware games, or even if there was shovelware games, some of them were still pretty solid. But it wasn't too expensive that it kicked out a lot of like the AA developers that couldn't quite compete with the AAA developers, but were scrappy underdogs doing unique, kind of creating the unique modes for their games that indie devs couldn't quite be able to afford. And that's what allowed them to be competitive, is those unique systems. And that's the fun part about like the PS2 and like the first Xbox and everything, is they had those unique games available for them. The Tokyo Extreme Racers, the Enthusias, the Juiced. As unfortunate it is that we can't stream that one because it chugs through CPU, which is unfortunate, very, very unfortunate. And even then, the AAA games were, some of the best as well. You had the Midnight Clubs, the Need for Speeds, the Gran Turismos, and they were all just pushing each other to be the best they could be. And it was glorious. It was a perfect time for the consumer. And granted, nowadays with digital storefronts and the rise of indie, more higher, certain aspects being easier to develop for games, you do have a rise of very, very solid indie games with a very, that are still, incredibly robust, that is still, very, very, almost to the point of being, for lack of better words, AA games. And it's just really, really cool. So I do think that we can eventually see a renaissance of game development. We just kind of need to know where to look nowadays. Like what games are very, very solid, what games should be avoided. And for that, you just need, reviewers to be very, very open and honest with the people and everything. Which is also why you have the rise of different independent reviewers for different niches as well. Because sometimes games journalists, even if you're assuming, perfect intentions and everything, some of them just miss their mark. They may not know enough about a certain genre or whatever, or they may have preferences that differ wildly from the general public. Or due to the nature of needing to go through and play these games kind of as a job, and need to get the reviews up quickly enough, and you do run the risk of that kind of tainting or skewing the review one way or the other. Where if they're only able to play the early part of the game, and the early part of the game is very, very good, but the later part of the game is not very good, you can end up in a review score that's, too high. Whereas if vice versa, if the early part of the game is a little bit rough around the edges, but it gets better as you progress, then they can end up in a review score that ends up much, much lower. So it is good to have independent reviewers as well. Especially independent reviewers that, are kind of open and honest with, what they like and what they don't like. That way, if you also like or don't like those things, it's a high chance that you would agree with them with regards to their review of the game. And you can make an informed decision whether or not to buy it. Very, very important. Now and shift, get the car turned in. That corner right there, that tight left-hand hairpin, that's a very tricky corner because the road kind of falls away from you a little bit. It's got the negative the bad camber on the road, so it keeps kind of pushing you further and further out. So you need to slow down a lot more than you think you do for an already very slow corner, and it's very tricky if you do not know it all that well, because you can and will run wide, and then opponents will immediately kind of scoop up either some time or even a position from you if you're not careful. Come on, give me some speed. This should be the last race before we level this vehicle up to level 10, and then we can begin with the specialty vehicle next. Brake around the 100-meter mark, down to third gear. There we go. There we go. One more lap. Oh, that counted as an off course. I was just barely over the line. That's sad. Big sad. Big, big sad. Through the chicane. Just barely tap the curves on both sides. Keep as straight a line through as you can. Keep the car as stable as you can. That way you have some speed going up the hill, especially in lower powered vehicles. That is the key to a very solid lap time here. I don't think we'll be able to get under 2 minutes. But we are right around that mark, which is a very, very respectable lap time here. Yep, back to the left. Back again to the right. Oh boy. We are doing surprisingly well. I was expecting us to be passed by at least a few opponents, but the fact that they're all that far behind us is interesting. Like, I was definitely expecting the Emira 2 to be at least one that was, kind of pounding us a little bit, with that one being a lighter weight but still fairly powerful mid-engine sports car. Here we're kind of just running away with it. Which, I mean, I'm not going to complain too much, but I was definitely expecting a little bit more in this game, from this race. You know, have at least a couple of battles. But no, we are literally running away with it in the Land Cruiser. It started out as a not that great vehicle, but this is, you know, once we upgraded it, this is a very, very solid, very, very good kind of sleeper vehicle going across the line. Yes. Oh, the super finished 4th. Jeez. Ouch. There we go. Level it up again. Nice. Alright, the power level has... Oh gosh, that is a massive amount of points. Yep. That is a very, very, very nice amount of points. Our ranking has skyrocketed. That being said, though, it is now time to change our vehicle. Let's go to a specialty coupe. And we got 5 different vehicles here that we can choose from. So let's open up the random number generator. And let's... Oh gosh, where are you? Alright. So if it's 1, it is going to be the Silvia S14. If it is a 5, we'll be doing the Nissan... the BMW Z4. So let's go. It is a 1. Alright. So the S14 it is. Very nice. It has the aero package as well. Very, very cool. I want it in that super red. Looks good in white too. I want it in red. I want my sporty car in red. Alright, let's go adjust some settings. Just get this thing ready for racing. Boop, boop. Only a little bit negative here, a little bit more negative there. Slight acceleration, that's solid. Good, good, good. Alright, let's go see what we can do. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah, we definitely have a lot more... well, we're definitely a lot more competitive against opponents here. We'll be up against a whole bunch of Subarus, whole bunch of four-wheel drive monsters. Subaru 2 different Subaru Impreza X STIs, and an R34 GTR Skyline. And here we are in the little inline 4 Nissan Silvia. We do have the agility, though, of being a lightweight rear-wheel drive vehicle. So we should be able to, as long as we can get past this S13 and the sedan, the Aristo, we should be good. I gotta remember that this one uses the clutch. Oh boy. Yep. Gotta get used to the new handling. Much slidier than the Land Cruiser. Come on, I gotta get in front of the S13. They're kind of holding me up right now. Oh, this is a no passing zone. It's still side by side though, which is gonna be annoying because they're taking up pretty much both the usable lines. Come on, get through. There we go. Smooth as butter. Alright, let's get back up with the Aristo and the GD Impreza WRX STI. This thing quite a bit quicker than the Land Cruiser as well. Very rapid around the corners. Just getting the slight slip angle ever so slightly, getting the rear to step out. getting right on the steering to counter steer just a little bit as you kind of throw the vehicle through the corners. Slight tap there. Sorry about the paint. You gotta get a nice little red pinstripe. Alright, do the cutback. Oh, but it's still got quite a bit more power than us. Come on. We can battle it. Brake just before the end of the tree line. Yeah, third gear is a better gear for this one. Second gear will be bouncing off the rev limiter just a little bit too much. Whew. It's a much more lively vehicle than the Land Cruiser, I'll give it that. The rear definitely wants to kind of go around on you just a little bit. Kind of need to spend quite a bit of steering, keeping the vehicle going the opposite, turning the wheel the opposite direction. We're getting a little bit closer to the Impreza each lap. 50, another solid lap time. We can go a little bit quicker. This first half we're especially quick against the Impreza. This corner here, I think we got that one down pat. And then through the chicane, we should be good. It's basically that last corner and the main straight. Especially that main straight, because they have almost 100 more horsepower than us. Closer to 60 more horsepower. But that is still a massive amount. Come on. Yeah, we're definitely closer this time, though. We still got a couple laps to make a move. 29. Alright, sub 50 lap time. Yeah, keeping it in third gear through this corner instead of going down to second. That definitely helps. Come on. Oh, we are right on its tail. We are applying the pressure. Alright. Can we make the move going into the tunnel? They're running a defensive line. So I don't think so. They just want to compromise their exit speed. Oh, we got the run on them. Just a little bit. Come on. We don't have too many laps left. They are very, very quick, though. Alright, this isn't quite working. I'm going to try a slightly different approach through this corner. There we go. Back up with them. Oh, come on. They are literally right there enticing us. Encouraging us to just push for one corner. There we go. Slight nudge there, right behind you. Round the outside. Almost. Can't quite make it stick. Like, we keep getting into position for overtakes. They are right on the throttle a bit earlier than us. Alright. Can get a little bit more momentum through this section. I kind of backed off just a little bit so we can get right up with them. Oh boy, here we go. Do we make it stick? They are gaining on us. Yes! Oh my word. Had to back off there a little bit so I can get a run on them through the final turn. 0.3 seconds. Man. That was good. That was a great race. That was great. That was very, very competitive. That was fun. Alright. Yeah, alright, so the vehicle's a little bit more lightweight. Yeah, we're still gonna decrease our ranking just a little bit. Now that we have a faster vehicle, we can get some more consistent points, as opposed to being a bit swingier. Oh, this is so good. I love this Sylvia. It just handles so well. Alright, Saint Germain Cup. Oh gosh. We're up against some very, very fast cars there. I'm not too sure I can handle that. So let's do the Tsukuba race. Tsukuba circuit, great course. Very, very fun. Lots of twists and turns. I used to not like it nearly as much when I was younger. But as I've gotten older and I've gotten more kind of like into like the dedicated sims and stuff, Tsukuba is just a very, very solid, very great course for like you know, lower to mid-tier sports cars and everything, as well as for like time attack stuff. Because of it being so short, you can just really crank out the laps, and it's got a rhythm that's just very, very, very nice. It's an easy to learn, hard to master course, and it's so much fun. Oh gosh, that Super is being very aggressive. Come on, Volvo. I need you to get out of the way. I need to get back up with them. Need to be a little bit aggressive there. Get some minor bumps and bangs going. Alright, Super's gonna have its line compromise on exits. So are we though, because we got on the throttle just a little bit too early. Alright, come on. We can battle these two. We had a slow start. We can get in front of them. The Super is very heavy. It's got a lot of power, but it is a much heavier sports car. It's about 200 kilograms heavier than what we are currently. And then that Emira 2 is going to be a tricky one though, because it's mid-engined and it is lightweight. It's got more power than us. It's about the same weight as well. All I can hope is that we're just a better driver. But I'm thinking we could probably go. We can probably go for a second place position, especially if we can kind of catch up to the Supra through the twisty section, get a draft down the back straight and the main straight, so we can at least stay semi-close to it and just keep reeling it in lap after lap. Although it's not quite close enough to the Emira 2 to try to fight for position, so it's not going to be compromised against lines to the corners to lunge for an overtake. But basically I have to go the traditional route of just being a faster driver and not hoping that they get tangled up in each other. Because the AI does sometimes, you know, slow each other down by trying to battle and everything. The AI usually has very, very solid racecraft, with the exception of a select few corners in-game. And that MR2 is long gone. Alright, it's a battle for second. It's definitely a battle for second. We're keeping up with that Supra though. That'll be ease on the throttle though. It's gonna be very easy to spin this car. It's gonna be very easy to spin the rear wheels if we get a little bit too aggressive on the throttle. I may lock the rear differential just a little bit more after this race, because I'm getting a little bit of spin on the inside wheels so during the turning. And I want to stop that so I can get a little bit better launch out of the corners at the expense of slightly more instability. Means we can, you know, push a little bit harder. On the straights, we gotta watch ourselves on the twisty bits. We're getting closer. Like, I'm kind of counting where the Supra is through like certain points on the track, and where we're steadily getting closer. Especially through like this section here, we're making up a lot of time through this sort of right-hander into the left-hand sweeper, into the right-hand hairpin. But it's the long straightaway that the Supra really gets its advantage. That powerful 2JZ engine. We are close enough to get into its slipstream though. It's still pulling away despite that. Come on. Alright, so about half a second behind them now. We got 2 laps to make a move. Yeah, they're going on the defensive now. It means we're going to stay with them easier. But it also means that it's going to be much more difficult to pass them, because they're going to be trying to take the inside line to a lot of these corners. Oh, I see. Like you can hear like the other vehicles on track as well when you go past them through like the hairpins and everything. Kind of adds that immersion. Very, very cool. Oh, you're moving under braking. That was dirty. We had a solid lunge there that was set up. But nope, they went way to the inside as we were going for that. That was a very dirty move there, Mr. Supra. Alright. Last ditch lap. Can we finish second? We've taken down the Impreza. Can we take down the Supra in a much lower powered vehicle? Running out of tarmac. We're running out of road. Oh, we're real close. Alright, can we make it stick? Supra's got a major advantage down the straight. Oh. A little bit crossed up in each other. Come on, hold on to it. Oh, yes. Ah, nice. I'm gonna play the All America AK1, but it's not gonna take a while. Uh oh, are there other courses and stuff like that that have been unlocked? Is the 150 cc cup? Is that not the end? Is there more? Uh oh. Yeah. Okay. Our ranking has decreased a little bit. Okay, that's a fine game. We got a free week now. We can enter a course that we haven't raced on in a while. Oh, we do have Rev City Roulette. Yeah, up against the Bugatti. Yeah, no, we don't have a single chance in And yeah, we have no chance against a Bugatti. Any unique vehicles here? Nope. Mr. Strata Challenge, Mr. Challenge, Sen. Anything in the rear-wheel drive race? We've gotten pretty much everything. We may have all of that. I played through all the tracks. Just have to do it again and again and then again. Oh, pain. So what do you unlock when you play through all of them this time? Alright, so got all the 90s sports cars. Anything in the Nissan Cup? The Nissan Moco. We've won that. Power Sliders battle. Ooh. This could be a fun one. Honestly, don't know. Alright, well, let me know what you do unlock when you get through all of that. Hopefully it's more than just here's a virtual trophy or whatever. Like hopefully like it actually gives you like something else to like have to customize the carts with, or like another secret character or something. That'd be really cool. Also stuck with playing as Mario. Oof. I mean, middleweight, okay-ish all-arounder. If you're gonna be stuck with one character, that may as well be the character you get stuck with. It's not atrocious, but it's not great either. I gotta be careful. Not a whole lot of grip on the cobbled streets. The game doesn't allow you to choose which one after you make a save. Oh, that's horrible though. It's like the part of the fun of like the Mario Kart games is being able to kind of experiment with the different riders and different kart performances in order to kind of find your niche within like that specific game. Like that's all the fun of it. So if you're stuck with just one cart, oh, it kind of defeats the point of like the Mario Kart games. Like in like a different racing game, I can kind of expect that, like, you know, like for example like a One Gun Midnight or like, you know, the Initial D games, because you're steadily tuning up that car as you progress through like the career mode and everything. And the career modes are unique to like that car. But man, for like a Mario Kart game, you should be able to, you know, swap things around pretty much at the start of each championship. Nintendo may have dropped the ball a little bit with that. Alright, nice and easy through here. Playing CSR 2 in a second. Welcome to the stream, Adachi. Oh yeah, CSR. I remember that game. I've not played it. But yeah, no, so, some of the CSR games, I do remember them being very, very tricky, especially early on. Like the wrong car and it's so hard to stop. Oh, yeah. But on the bright side, though, the more you're going through it, you know, the easier it gets, because you get to kind of do adjustments, you get to kind of tune up the vehicles and everything. If it's the same as CSR that I'm thinking of, Cooper is better than the Spicat. I don't remember. I know they use a lot of like the fictional names and everything. I think. Now I'm a little bit confused. I may have to double check that. But you know, like a lot of those games, they're very, 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 very difficult early on. They gradually get a little bit better. Could you imagine if Nintendo released a new Mario Kart and you can only pick one of the multiple racers, and you're stuck with them for the entire game? Backlash would be overwhelming. Very much so. Oh my gosh, so much so. Like that would be the entire point of like the Mario Kart games is like all the different characters and parts and everything. It's hard because it costs so much to upgrade stuff, so you gotta grind. Ah, the grinding life. That I am very, very familiar with in pretty much all the whole bunch of racing games. Although it's one of those things where once you get one solid vehicle, the rest come a lot easier. Because you at least have one you can kind of fall back on and grind with and get more money and stuff. And the faster, the more powerful and the better handling your vehicle is, the easier it is to get more money, to get more parts, to get more money, to get more parts. And it basically becomes kind of like the floodgates opening It's like the Crew 2 is a lot like that, where early on you're like, oh my gosh, it's gonna take me forever to get my vehicle up to its maximum performance level. But once you get one vehicle up to its maximum performance level, it becomes so much easier to get every other vehicle in that class up to its maximum performance level. Basically what the first Mario Kart arcade game is. 11 characters, but you can only have one. Oh, that's horrible. That is absolutely horrible. Like I said, I can understand like a One Gun Midnight arcade game or a Initial D arcade game, because it's basically like the story of you and your car either conquering, you know, the highways or the mountain passes. But in a Mario Kart game, like no, it's basically just Mario Kart, but like, you know, in an arcade. Other games don't have that problem. All right, good. So they at least realized it was a mistake and they fixed it. Good. Still, I mean, that being said, that there are definitely worse characters to get stuck with than Mario. There, we got through that. Very nice. All right. Let's see if we unlocked a little bit more upgrades for the Sylvia. There we go. That should be enough for like 1 or 2 levels. Hopefully 2. Nope, just tires. All right, it's gonna take a while to upgrade this one. Basically, if you played the second game, you played the first game. Just play the second one. Oh wow. Okay. So it's basically just the second game is literally just the first, but better. I see. There's not too many games, honestly, where I kind of have that opinion on. Like, even like all the Gran Turismo games, like each one has like its own unique charm and like its own like kind of like highs and lows. Whereas and, like even like the Tokyo Trim Racer games, with the exception of Tokyo Trim Racer 1 from the Dreamcast, pretty much all the other ones are like, even then you at least play that one and kind of see some of the other characters and everything. But yeah, there's not too many games where it's just nah, just play the sequel. But to have an entire arcade game that's like that, that's brutal. And honestly, sometimes there are game series where it's like nah, play the older one. That one's better. For example, like Need for Speed. If you look at Rivals and you look at Hot Pursuit 2010, like Hot Pursuit 2010 is like so much better than Rival. Like they're both very similar. But with Hot Pursuit 2010, you got all the different car classes that are much more balanced against each other. Either the Cop and Racer is much more balanced against each other. You can play it offline. Like it's just better. All that's missing from the second game is just a few items. There's so many in both that you probably aren't going to use every single one. That's true. Especially if you're consistently near the front. Probably won't be able to use some of like the super powerful items compared to, you know, if you're like frequently in the rear. One thing I don't like about like the modern arcades though is like how expensive some of them are. Because one, when I went to vacation down in Ocean City, there was one where it was like really expensive. Like just to play like a regular like arcade game, it was like $2 for like a minute of gameplay. Like, that isn't worth it. But the one closer to me though, where I actually live, that one is much better dollar value. It's still pricey, but like, you know, it's a cool place to kind of hang out, do a couple, you know, games, get a drink, get some food and stuff like that, and then kind of explore the rest of the mall and everything. I only use three per race and go. Oh, you're limited to how many items you can use. Oh, ew. It's like the inverse of, we have Mario Kart at home. We have Mario Kart at the arcade. Mario Kart at the arcade being much worse than Mario Kart at home. Oh man. And this is coming from someone who usually doesn't quite like all the items and everything. Being limited to just 3 uses is kind of horrible. Actually, not bad. Oh, okay. I'll take your word for it then. But man, on paper at least, it sounds terrible because like normally, you know, when you're playing the game, you're usually sending off items left, right, and center. Every like 10 to 15 seconds, you're shooting off an item or using an item to defend yourself. So the fact that you're stuck with just three per race becomes a bit of an. That being said, though, if all the AI also are stuck to only 3 per race, you know, you probably probably a little bit more balanced then, because it's easier to defend yourself and everything. You don't have nearly as many blue shells or lightning bolts or anything like that heading your way. Oh, the speed of the Sylvia. Look at this. Absolutely beautiful car. Come on, give me some speed around the corners. That's what I like. That's basically what happens, but you can only use 3 different ones. So you can use 3 different ones. Oh, okay. Okay, so you can at least use those 3, like, you know, as many times as you need. Okay, cool. So it's almost like you kind of customize. Do you get the choice of those 3 items, or are they more randomized? So if you get the choice, you can probably end up with some very, very OP combinations. At the very least, some that are very, very solid contenders to really, really kind of boost your chances of winning. Let's vote. Okay. Cool. Very, very nice. Okay, that definitely sounds a lot better. The way it had been worded earlier, it was like, oh no, you can only use three items and that's it, and you're like, oh, well, ouch. So the fact that you can use them as many times as you need to in a race, that definitely makes it a lot better. Some races have set items, otherwise you choose your own. Oh, okay. So adds some additional like, you know, some additional regulations for certain races to kind of add additional challenge. Like some of the challenges in Hot Pursuit 2010 where like you're limited to just spike strips and roadblocks or what have you. Nice, 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 nice. Keep pushing, keep pushing. Got a final couple of corners. I'll be a little bit careful. Car gets a little bit loose over that hill. It's all just very, very gentle, very delicate maneuvers. There we go. Sweet. 6 minutes, nearly 6 minutes flat for the time as well. Very nice. We should be able to level up the vehicle again. This should potentially be enough for 2 levels, maybe even 3. Probably just 2. I've never seen it go 3 levels before at once. Yeah, just 2. Alright, cool. It'll at least get a little more power in the turbocharged inline 4. We also have another free race. Maybe there's something we can win. Maybe there's something we can unlock. Hopefully. Let's see. We have the Super Championship as well. Something we can potentially consider. Under 2-liter race. Anything good here? Anything we haven't won? No. Of course not. That would make way too much sense. Anything in the rear-wheel drive race? No. Wait, nothing in the Nissan. We probably won all the Nissans. Yeah. So what we're gonna do instead is we are going to... Ooh! We haven't done the rear-wheel drive match yet. Sylvia versus Corvette. Downhill on the Toge. Downhill mountain race in the canyon. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be very, very fun. Alright, let's go. Hi there. Yep, you're gonna pinball off of those walls there. That's one of the few corners that the AI has lots of issues on. That can potentially get you caught up as well, as opposed to just places you can kind of use for advantage. You can still use it to your advantage, but you gotta be very, very patient. Nice. Easy, easy. I like how they didn't quite get the city to kind of cover the entire area. It just goes dark. The skybox isn't quite fully filled in here. Whoopsie daisies. You know, you can't really notice it too much, except for like 1 or 2 corners on the downhill section. But when you do notice it, oh boy, it's very, very noticeable. Like you can notice it there on this corner. Like you can tell they definitely designed this more so for the uphill version. We're only like vaguely paying attention to the city. But certain sections are definitely you can definitely see where the city is. Alright, come on. Alright, got a sharp left-hander here. Come on. Keep that speed up. Put the pressure on the vets. That old dinosaur versus our still old but less old Sylvia. We got half the cylinders as them, but we got a turbocharger. It is surprisingly quick though. It is keeping pace with us. Ow, 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 ow. Don't you do that. Alright, we gotta get back ahead of them. And it's gonna be tough as well because they're gonna be very difficult to get past because they got lots of power and okay-ish handling. Alright, late braking. Yeah, keep them pinched to the inside. Carry more speed than them out of this corner. There we go. I don't have too many corners left. Oh. All right, we got this. We got this. We got this. Oh boy. All right. There we go. There we go. All right, that's not enough to level us up. But that is an okay-ish amount of ranking points. Not much though. But we got some. Alright, what else? What else can we do? Let's go look for another race. Ooh, the rear-wheel drive championship. Oh, we're up against a Ford GT. Okay. This should be interesting. Let's do it. I want to do it. Welcome, Sprockets. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything is good. How is things? We got a Nissan Silvia, and we're going to be going at some very, very quick rear-wheel drive vehicles. Most of these we could probably be fairly competitive against. But that Ford GT is going to be very, very, very tricky. That Aston Martin is also going to be very, very tricky. Everything's great. Glad to hear it. Very, very glad to hear it. I managed to get one of my first designs at the new job 3D printed. I got a dual forward reverse switch with a variable speed. Basically, with it being a pressure sensitive switch, it allows you to control the speed of the motor variably. And instead of, for like a drill, kind of switching it between forward and reverse on the side, since it's a dual button with a rocker arm, you just press forward to get it to go one way and reverse to get it to go the other way. And it turned out really, really nice. We got it 3D printed and wired up and everything. And we got it in the test mule, and it's so cool. So I'm kind of happy about that. It's very, very, very fun, kind of smaller project that they stuck me on. But so far it's turning out decently enough. Oh boy. Alright, they are very quick. They got some very high-end performance vehicles. I was expecting maybe to finish second, but that RX-7, the Aston Martin, both of them are also very rapid. Hansai Driftu. Through the turn, just a nice steady slide. Oh my word. I like the Silvias though. I wish we got the S15 in the States, because the S15 looks absolutely gorgeous as well. Right now we're in the S14, which is another very, very solid one. It's interesting though that the two kind of like middle child Nissan performance vehicles, the S14 and then the R33, if you look at like a lot of racing games, those are usually the generations that get kind of forgotten about. Like a lot of street racing games, they have the R32 or at the very least the R34, and most street racing games also have like the S13 and the S15. Very rarely do they have the S14 or the R33, which makes games that do have them really, really cool, because both of them are very, very, very nice in their own right. I know a lot of people kind of think of them as almost like transitory or vehicles that are kind of like the middle ground between the two, where it's kind of like mid-evolution, awkward, like the first evolution of your Pokemon, where it's just kind of awkward. But like they look very nice. They got some very solid performance. They are very, very good vehicles. And I wish more racing games gave them some love. We are already 13 seconds behind the Ford GT. We're kind of in no man's land right now. We're in the points, but it was like a Formula One race with us kind of being a midfield team up against the really, really rapid Red Bulls. Alright, easy. This is, it's quite quick. but it's not nearly quick enough to compete against the Ford GT. But we're well ahead of the BMW M3, whatever other vehicle is also behind us. It just kind of feels like we're going for a nice Sunday drive through the woods. Very nice, very gentle. Alright, come on. Nice and easy. Keep the speed going through here. Very nice, very good. I like how kind of like twitchy this vehicle is. Like it's just right on the edge of control, but it's very predictable once you kind of like go past that limit of grip as well. Where it's just a nice, very smooth slide. Like it doesn't want to just break away immediately. Like it's very gradual in how it loses grip. And you kind of, with that, you kind of almost like throw it around the corners. And it's just a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. I quite like. It's just a very solid. Like you can kind of save it at certain points. Something interesting about the arcade market games, they use a lot of assets from Double Dash. Exactly runs on a modified game engine from that game. I mean, that makes sense. You know, you're making. You definitely want to kind of make sure that the, you know, you want to kind of reduce development time and everything. Because that one, it's going to be kind of just, you know, placed. People are going to purchase it once, the arcade cabinet once. And then it's gonna be kind of placed in like their arcade for them to make money, you know, the arcade owners. And so with that, it's, you know, you want to reuse assets as much as possible, so that, you know, you don't need to spend nearly as much on that, and you get much better profit margins. Plus, also, you get a little bit more leeway when developing like an arcade port. You can almost think of it as like an arcade port of Double Dash, but with, you know, some removed features and some added features. Plus, depending on the assets reused, like I don't quite fully understand the super outcry against some of that. Like especially if it's like more things like background assets, like trees or like shrubbery or whatever. Like, yeah, by all means, if it fits within the scenery and everything and it still looks good. By all means, reuse that assets. Save time. Develop the other points of the game. You don't need to reinvent the tree. Or like, hey, there's a couple buildings that would fit well in this game as well. Yeah, by all means, do that. Like if you look at Need for Speed Carbon, like a lot of the buildings use similar assets to the ones used in Most Wanted. Because it's nighttime, not many people would notice it. Like, some music is reused, the character lines are the same, etc. Yeah, because with that one, you don't have to pay the voice actors nearly as much and spend nearly as much time re-recording the lines. You probably still have to pay like a licensing fee to the voice actors to reuse their voice lines for the arcade ports. But it definitely saves a lot of time. Nice and easy through here. Just kind of swinging through this course. Feel like a monkey. Just gradually sliding through, keeping the speed up though. It's a little agile, Sylvia. It's nice. Final lap jingle and the sub music definitely stood out as reused. I mean, to be fair with that, like the story jingle and the final lap music are very, very frequently like it's kind of almost like a leitmotif. Leitmotif for like both of those things. Like I can kind of, you know, regardless of the game, like the searching was usually fairly frequently of the and which is other like added orchestra for like later games as well. So for that, it's, you know, understandable to reuse that. The star music is like iconic Mario music though. Get a little bit of water. Oh, it was the Toyota Soarer. The Toyota Soarer was that far back? Oh my word. Okay. Dang. Ouch. There we go. You got grippier tires. Grippier rubbery boys. Alright. Good. I gotta enter a little bit. Gotta go a little bit faster in the next race. Do a little bit better. With the high performance tires, you should be able to run against faster opponents. And that being said, definitely not a route to the Seine. Although, that's not that bad. Let's do it. We got a chance. As much as Route de la Seine is like the worst course in the game, I'm willing to go for it. I'm willing to give it a shot. All right. Here we go. Just gotta make sure we hold off that Supra and that Infiniti G35. We can probably outmaneuver the Mustang and the S13 and the Altezza. We can probably beat them on the straights now that we have a little bit more power in our car. There we go, up into the lead right from the start. Can we hold on to it though? Alright, into the death loop. This corner is the bane of pretty much every car's existence. Because you're fighting with understeer, the entire way. Then you get right over the crest and all of a sudden the car just wants to snap away from you. Right here. And you're just basically just trying to hold on. Keep it stable enough, but fast enough to avoid getting brutalized by the AI. Oh, hi there. That Supra, we should be able to outmaneuver it, but it's gonna be tough to get past it again. There's only like 2 or 3 good passing points in this course. One of them is coming up here into the hairpin. No, okay, the Supra is very, very quick. Oh gosh. Alright, that jump, we gotta let up the throttle just a little bit to get the car to turn in and reduce the fact that we are reduce the air time we get. But you can't turn a car when it's in the air. I know, who would have thought? Who would have thunk it? Cars can't turn when they're flying. But yeah, you can't do that. So we gotta make sure we keep the car as planted as possible. Jeez, that Supra is gone though. For a vehicle that wasn't all that successful in racing in its standard trim, it is very, very quick here. I wonder if you know how they live in Tokyo. I am sliding. Yep, cut the chicane. Why not? That corner is absolute hell. You gotta basically stop the car just to get it around the super tight chicane section there. You can shave off massive amount of time by cutting it, but it's very illegal. The secret ingredient to a fast lap time right there is crime. Alright, swing the car back around this way. There we go. Not the prettiest, but we got it around there. Alright, let's see if we can get through the jump without wrecking the vehicle. We have a different trajectory here. Alright, that's a little bit better. We almost got to approach that wide and then cut left last second to kind of keep it straight. Okay. That's fine. Oh, this track. 6 laps of pain at this track. Oh boy, easy. Like every other track in a game is enjoyable for the most part, but this track is absolutely beautiful. And again, we're kind of stuck in no man's land right now. May as well drift. May as well do a little bit of slides. We'll not catch up with that Supra, but we can at least have a little bit of fun here. There we go. We took the chicane a little bit better that time. Still a slide off, of course, because why not? Oh, you wanted to be able to follow the course limits? Ha! Joke's on you, dummy. Alright. Alright, here we go, here we go. Alright, third is getting kind of close to us as well. I wish I could see full-on timing so I could see who was third. It may be the Mustang. The Mustang was doing half decently through most of this, the early section from what I could see. They aren't close enough to see in the rear view yet, and I don't want to get them. I don't want to allow them to be close enough to see, because if they're close enough to see, that means they're close enough to pass us. And I want to at least get a solid second place finish here and get some decent points to bring home. So, cool fact about the Nissan Silvias: you have the Silvia Qs. You have the Silvia J's, the Silvia Q's, and the Silvia K's. And the best way to think about it is Jack, Queen, King. The Jack is the lowest of the 3 cards, followed by the Queen, followed by the King. And it shows the amount of power that the different Silvias have, as well as some of the other handling features and some of the other like interior components as well. The Kings are basically the top of the line Silvias. The Jacks are much closer to the base model vehicles. And so if you're a collector looking for them, you're better off getting the Silvia Ks. So that also means that the Silvia Ks are considerably more valuable than the Qs or even, especially the Js. Whereas if you're just looking to heavily modify an S chassis, you're better off looking for a J and doing more of the modification yourself, especially if you're going to be doing like major engine swaps or what have you. Because then you get a cheaper vehicle from the start, which is much better. And from there you can modify it a lot more. Especially if you're going to be swapping in like a non-Nissan native engine, like an LS series or what have you, into the S chassis. Then it's, you know, go for the J's then. Alright, nice and smooth through here. Okay. We got 2 laps to go. Technically 1.5. That Supra is miles ahead of everybody else. That is painful. Occasionally you do get races. You do get races that are like that, where you know you get 1 or 2 drivers that basically just run away with it. That is the nature of the somewhat randomized nature of these events. What is that behind me? It is getting closer, and I don't like that. We have been going a little bit slower these laps because I've been kind of not really focusing all that much. But as long as we can hold it off, we should be solid. I wish I knew what that was. Either way, though, we're gonna make sure it stays. We're gonna make sure it stays behind us. Oh, it looks like a Mercedes. Okay, so it's got big power, but also heavy weight. That's fine. We can deal with that. Yeah, just like we dealt with the Supra. Sure. Oh, I know that's the Infiniti G35. Alright, Nissan versus Nissan. Alright, cool. The battle is on. We have the Nissan S chassis versus the Nissan MR chassis. It should be interesting. 2 Nissan Sports Coupes dueling it out. Back again to the left. Gotta be gentle. Gotta be gentle with the car. Right, over the crest. Watch yourselves. Down in a second. Alright, come on. Oh, they're gonna have more power. They're gonna have more acceleration. Come on. Cross the home straight. Okay, we managed to hold on a second. Oh my word. Yay. Oh, that was painful. Yep, Route de la Seine. Route de la Seine is not a fun track. But at least got more power though, which is good. I will happily accept more power. Alright, next race we can enter a slightly easier event, but we should be decent enough. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can race in. I haven't done a Nürburgring race in a little while. Fastest vehicle is going to be a Mazda RX-7, the FD RX-7. We may be able to beat it. The Nordschleife is a twisty circuit that usually favors driver skill. So this will be a very interesting. So many Nissan S chassis cars. Like this is literally just a duel of pretty much nothing but like rear-wheel drive Japanese sports coupes. A very solid collection of cars. All duking it out on the infamous Nordschleife. Oh, RX-7, why you do that? Alright, we gotta get past this 180SX. Down in a second. Alright, big push now. Let's get ahead of this RX-7. Let's keep it way behind us. Oh boy. Wide turn. Alright, big push now. We got a first high speed section here. Let's use this little inline force power to its utmost potential. Slight lift through Flugplatz. There we go. Alright, back on the throttle. Big speed now. Alright, we got 5 speeds. That is good enough for me. Oh, wow, easily reaching about 160 miles an hour. On the first long stretch of road. Dang. Okay. Alright, so with the added power and the reduced weight, the Sylvia does get a little bit twitchier. That is something we're gonna have to kind of keep in check. Okay. Come on. Hi there. Oh man, that RX-7 just ahead of us. Bonk, bonk. It's a slight nudge. Rotary versus inline 4. Alright, got a little bit squirrely through there. We lost a little bit of time. Let's gain that back up. Man, it is a fast vehicle, that RX-7 though. That's the thing, like we're able to handily beat most of the other opponents, but like one or two just come along and absolutely wreck our day when we're driving the Sylvia. Gotta go a little bit faster. Gotta go just a little bit faster. Come on, can we go around outside? Carry a little bit more speed to that corner. Alright, onto another high speed section here. Neck and neck. 2 red cars duking it out through the forests. Yes. Oh dear. Slight off course there. Just a little bit careful. Let's see how fast we can get this thing going now. 130s are a very, very solid amount of, very, very solid speed. I think we can go just a little bit quicker. Alright, slight tap of the brake, get the car turn in for this corner. Back on the speed. Very, very high speed left-hander. Very easy with the car. Just a little bit unsettled there. Nice. Very smooth through there. Alright, the carousel time. A personal favorite corner of mine. You just have to be very, very patient with that corner. But it's so much fun to get right. It's basically a 1-lane wide corner though. But it is a lot of fun. You can go through that a lot quicker than you think. Until you can't. As soon as you begin running just a little bit wide, or as soon as you cut it just a little bit too tight, the car gets all bent out of shape. You have to keep it right on that concrete strip where it's like heavily banked, and just use that to your advantage. As long as you can keep it there, it's a very fun, very fast corner. But as soon as you run wide, car gets very understeery. And as soon as you cut it too tight to the inside, car gets very, very bent out of shape, very oversteery. Don't want to spin on you at the low speed. Especially if it has a solid rear axle. If it has a solid rear axle and you cut it too close to the inside, Oh yeah, kiss that lap time goodbye. It is going to spin like a top. This though, this Sylvia is driving absolutely beautifully. Slight brake there. Probably should have slowed down just a little bit more. It's fine. A little bit of rallycross. A little bit of rallycross experience there. Alright. Come on. Nice clean run through here. Yes. Yes. We good? We got this? I think we got this. Alright, onto the straight now. Now let's get this thing as fast as we can go. Come on. 150. We can go faster than this. Come on, can we reach 170? 160. Getting to the top of the hill now. Alright, 165 is the maximum speed. Very, very solid. Nice. Here we go. Oh, that was a great run. 8:35. That's a solid timer on an Nordschleifer as well, even despite the many off track. Way too many off tracks there. There we go. Nice. Alright, vehicles reach a slightly higher tuning level. There we go. Good, our ranking improved just a little bit. Ever so slightly. Kind of right in that threshold of like we can't really get too much higher ranking with this vehicle. But we're still steadily pushing through it. Alright, what other do we have? Let's do it. Let's take on an NSX. We can take on an NSX, right? I think so. I think so. An NSX is child's play for us. I like how the game thinks we're slower than an RSX Type R. Or an Integra Type R. Like, wow. Way to completely underrate our vehicle, bro. Here we go. Lots of really quick laps here in the Sylvia with a lot of clean laps as well. Car does want to slide a considerable amount more. But man, does it sound good when doing it. Oop, next gear. Drop a gear, then disappear. Give me a gear. I'm right here. Oh, this is nice though. Bonk. Alright, slight tap there. Let's try to avoid that. Let's try to gain a little bit more time. Pull away from the R32 skyline. Man, this feels so good to drive though once it's upgraded. Like the specialty, the sporty, and the real sports vehicles are like some of my favorites to drive in the game. 'Cause most of them are, you know, they're quick enough to be, you know, competitive. They still got their own like little quirks and everything, and it just feels so nice to drive. Like when Compacts doesn't go past, I think D or C class. I think D class. That one's just slow. Like you get some like hot hatches, some like lower tier hot hatches there, but it's still very difficult. It's very unfortunate when you're trying to, you know, get through that and everything. Alright, we're doing solid so far. Keep it going, keep it going, keep the speed going. 48, nice. 48-second lap time. It's an entire, pretty much 2 seconds faster than some of our fast lap times. Actually, close to a second faster than when we were much lower tune in the Sylvia. And this is already a very short circuit where power doesn't matter all that much. The fact that we're running about a second faster, that is a fairly, oh gosh, fairly significant margin. Yeah, that one is much slower. Much slower lap. Oh. Easy. I got two laps left. We're gonna be lapping this for Accord Euro R. Hello and goodbye. Granted, that is a very nice car in and of itself. Definitely on the Isaac would love to own list. Granted, that list is, it's more so it's shorter to name vehicles that aren't on the list than vehicles that are on the list. This is all very nice. Oh, alright, slight bonk there. Final lap. Let's do this. Big push. Very smooth through there. Let's keep that speed going. Oh my word, right up against the wall. nice. Very nice. And across the line. Yes. Smooth. Only 3 laps had penalties. It's not bad. There we go. That'll level up quite a bit. Alright, one more race, and I think we should that should be up to level 10. Very nice. Yeah, our ranking has decreased just a little bit. That's because there isn't too many races we can be competitive in. It's either races we absolutely blow out of the water, or races where we get completely curb stomped. No in between. Press pull. Ooh. That's a tough one. We can do this race on Tsukuba in the wet. Whole bunch of turbocharged and supercharged cars slipping and sliding around Tsukuba. Yeah, that sounds perfectly fine, perfectly reasonable. Oh my word. I gotta be very careful because we don't have traction control or stability control, so we gotta really watch vehicle slidiness. This will benefit the Volvo wagon. Pretty much all but us and the other Sylvia will be benefiting from the weather conditions here. Because most of them are high-powered four-wheel drive monsters. That will be very tricky to defeat. We kind of want to take most of these a gear higher, but at the same speed, so we kind of minimize wheel spin coming out of the corner. It's kind of almost short shifted a little bit to control ourselves. Okay. So far, so good. Gotta be very careful though. Car is very slippery. Track is very slippery. Very easy to go back end first, especially when trying to trail brake into a corner. Woo-hoo. That got just a little bit dicey. Alright, come on. Just gotta be very gentle with the throttle. If we're gentle, we should be fine. Alright, big push now down the back straight. Use the power as much as you can. Gain a little bit of time on our opponents. Look at that Sylvia, absolutely beautiful. The S14 chassis with the aero kit. So good, so nice to drive. 109, that's a decent timer on the course as well. Like for a, moderately tuned street car in the wet. Probably get it down to about 107 in the dry. Which, considering the lap time to beat for like super fast cars is like a minute flat. That's a respectable time. Oh boy, easy. Rear end of the vehicle wants to go every which way, except the way forwards. Yeah, I think short shifting the third coming out of that tight hairpin should allow us a little bit more grip down the back straights. A little bit more speed. Yep, definitely more speed. Braking at the same point. Didn't go away. Cool. Okay. So that works, just gotta brake earlier. Okay, 3 laps to go. Braking points, Isaac. Stop looking away from the track. I'm gonna brake just after the curb here. On the second. I think that one you may want to stay in second gear and just spread the throttle more, because trying to get down the throttle early leads to a lot of heartache. Oh, we're drifting quite a bit. lots of slyness. Remember on this one? Yeah, welcome to the stream, Jerry. Hope you're doing well today. How's things? How be it? Right now we're currently racing this beautiful S14 on Tsukuba against some opponents. That Volvo wagon is moderately keeping pace with us. We're slowly pulling away. Got 2 laps left. We should be able to level this vehicle up to level 10 after this race. After which I may or may not end the stream. I might continue till midnight. Eastern time. Here in the US. Yeah, okay, shifting early. Shifting into 3rd gear. See your progress in the Nickel Max. You completed the club races. Yeah, we pretty much completed everything in the United States. And now we just need to complete all the Tokyo Challenge for 100% completion. And then I'm not sure what game I'll play for the Tuesdays after that's beaten. I'm debating maybe doing GTA Vice City. Because I've already played through pretty much all the mini club games, with the exception of LA and LA Remix for the PSP. So, but I don't have a good means of streaming those games yet. So I may stream GTA Vice City, keep it consistent with the Rockstar games. That or maybe Max Payne 2. It's been a while since I played a Max Payne game. I enjoyed Max Payne 1 a lot. I think Max Payne 2 would be a very, very fun game to play. But that's for later. That is for later, Isaac, to decide. But those are probably the 2 games that are most likely. Games that are up in the air for that. Ooh, very slidey. Very slippery. Very fun. Easy. Alright. Final lap. Let's do this. Yeah, I might continue till midnight. I'm gonna use the restroom after this race because we'll level up to level 10. We'll pick our new vehicle and we'll level that up as much as possible until around midnight-ish. And then we'll end the stream. So we got another like 30-ish minutes or so, just enjoyable racing. Very solid there. Lap times weren't quite as consistent as I wanted them to be, but with it being super, super wet, we did alright. We did okay. Are you kidding me? We didn't level up. We didn't level up. Are you about... Okay. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick. I'll be back in just 1 second. Okay, I am back. Thank you for your patience. Alright, so this is still level 9. Ah, gosh, pain. Alright, is there a quicker race we can get knocked out real quick? Sylvia race. S13s, S15s, and a Sylvia spec art. Sure, why not? Let's do it. Low and Searing. Low and Searing's an enjoyable track. Alright. Come on. We got this. Beautiful track as well. I like the fact that it looks like a kitty cat. The cutest little racetrack. Gotta give it scritchies by the ears. Alright, nice and easy. Alright, there we go. We're good. Car gets just a little bit squirrely. But in the dry, we're quick enough that we can kind of drive past that. In the wet, though, it gets very sketch. Very quick. Very easy to kind of spin the vehicle. Thankfully, we haven't had too many spinalas today. Only one, really. And it was a very minor one. Like this vehicle is very controllable through the fast turns, and a little bit through the slow turns still. I can help you to finish Mecha 3 Dub Edition, but I played the original remix. Oh yeah, no, I'm playing the remix one. It's basically the same thing. It just adds a Tokyo challenge on it and adds more vehicles. Like the main US career mode is exactly the same. We already beat all the US races, but now we're just completing the Tokyo challenge. Now don't worry, I've beaten the game plenty of times. I just enjoy playing it because it's a fun, very hectic arcade racer, and I enjoy the car customization as well. But no, I've beaten it dozens of times. But it's fun. It's enjoyable. Alright, easy. Through backwards Radion, through backwards Erouge. Alright, big push now. Down the front straight. Down the back of the kitty cat, onto its face. And I love this bank turn as well. It allows you to basically keep it mostly full throttle the entire way through. Just wide open until kind of ends right around here. Get on the brakes. Get the car turned in. Very slidey little Sylvia. Alright. Now into the chest of the kitty cat. And then the front legs. Yes. Cute little tippy toes here. Where the kitty cat they make the biscuits. They do the little kneading. And it feels so weird. If you ever had a cat knead you, like with their paws, Like it's the strangest feeling. It's at certain times it feels kind of nice. Like if you have like a decent amount of clothes on and stuff. Like if you're wearing like a heavy sweatshirt or whatever. But if you're wearing light clothes, like just a t-shirt, like I do during the summer times, their claws poke through, and they're like they scratch you through your clothes when they need you, and you're like, ow, ow, hey, you have claws. This is very painful. But oh my gosh, it's still the most adorable thing as well because they're absolutely purring like crazy and they're just being very very affectionate. I love cats. I didn't think when I was younger, I didn't think I'd be a cat person. But my wife convinced me for us to get a cat. We've had the little bean for almost a year now. I think August 13th is her adoption day, and we'll probably get her like a little cat toy. Like I might cook her, grill her some unseasoned chicken to make sure it's well cooked. Cause cats, she like that. She likes when cooking, when it's with like meats and stuff like that. She loves going after. She likes trying to eat foods, especially if anything falls in her foot. She's like, ooh, foods, and Lord help you if you use the can opener. She's like, oh, that must mean there's tuna, which, granted, quite frequently it is tuna, but still. She's a good little bean, cute little gray tabby, best kitty, absolute best kitty cat. Yeah, our ranking is going to basically plummet there. That's fine. All right, let's change our vehicle. Got a few more minutes left to spare. Let's begin racing a sporty vehicle. As sporty as we can get here. Alright, so let's pull up the random number generator. Alright, if it is a 1, it is going to be the Renault Clio. And if it is a 5, it is going to be the Celica GT4. It's a 3. So that is you. The Evo 3. Yes, please. The only real difference is that there's more songs, there's more vehicles, and there's more like you have the Tokyo Challenge. Outside of that, the game is outside of that, the only changes are really just visual differences. So the other stuff, it's cool. It kind of shows you like the actual rival vehicle when loading and everything, and it kind of shows you like the tournament vehicle that you can potentially win, which is nice. But it's it's just a minor thing. More so it's just the it's just more vehicles, more songs. That's a big thing. Although I can't really showcase the songs because, well, licensed soundtrack. Hello, don't forget to say goodbye. Tomorrow to be very busy about things. Yeah, I know you're gonna be working very very busily on your writings and stuff like that. Yeah. So definitely best of luck with that. Hopefully that goes well. Nickel Los Angeles Mini Club LA remix the same vehicles move in the future. Kind of. You also don't have the interior view as well. So that is a big difference. Cause I enjoy doing the interior view for the regular cars. Cause it's the interior view for Mini Club LA is very very detailed, very beautiful, really really nice. We might be able to do well here. Let's do it. The Queen Victoria Cup. Victoria Road. Let's get a victory in Victoria Road. Yes. Let's do it. Let's race the Evo around the streets of London with the powerful 4G63 engine. Little inline 4, but it makes a lot of power. And this massive rally pedigree from the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo. Won lots of rallies, lots of rally victories. And it's quite fast on tarmac as well. Brutally quick. Fun fact about the Mitsubishi Evo as well. In Too Fast, Too Furious, Brian's, the guy played by Paul Walker, his car in that movie is the Mitsubishi Evo. But it was originally planned to have it be the Dodge Neon SRT4. That was at least one potential vehicle for him to be using, because Dodge, which at the time was partnered with Mitsubishi Motors in Diamond Star Motors, kind of provided quite a few vehicles for that movie. Both Mitsubishis and Dodges and Chryslers and everything like that. That's why you have the 4 identical, heavily modified Dodge Rams during the scramble scene, as those were provided by Dodge's performance and tuning division and everything, which is really, really cool. That's why they're all identical as well. Just a little tidbit. It's also how they managed to get a Dodge Viper as one of the extra cars fairly early as well, as they got some additional help from Dodge. Oh boy, nice and easy through here. That being said though, as much as I like the Eclipse, and especially the Evo, the other 2 hero cars in that movie, the Yenko Camaro and the Challenger RT, are absolutely gorgeous as well. We don't get to see them all that much, but man, do they leave an impact. They're just really, oh gosh, understeer. They're just really, really cool cars. And I quite like them. But I'm a big fan of I like JDM cars. I like my muscle cars. I like most decent amount of exotics. Just cars in general. No, it's always fun to kind of tease the different fan bases as well, because they're like, hey, muscle car can't turn low. Alright, big jump. Slightly sideways over the jump, through the chicanes, keep it maneuverable as much as we can anyway. Another chicane here. Oh gosh, slight frame drop there. Not sure what happened. Otherwise, the vehicle is handling very nicely. I might want to lower it just a little bit. The Evo is set up just slightly high for what it is right now. I'm getting a little bit of body roll, a little bit too much body roll. Which, while it'd be really, really good for like the off-road events for that stability and being able to have that clearance going over bumps and rough terrain, right now it's causing the vehicle to handle just a little bit sluggishly. Might tune the vehicle just for a little bit more oversteer as well. Brakes. Brakes do not want to work there. I gotta brake a lot earlier for that corner. So right now I'm just dive bombing in it. That'd be enough to completely wreck our car. This poor Evo. Very, very nice. Evo 3 is such a cool car as well. Wish some more of like the older Evos got featured in like a lot of like the street racing games. They have their own like aesthetic and vibe with them. Like normally it's just the Evo 10 and like the Evo 8 or Evo 9. And you're like, oh, okay. And those are really, really nice as well. But sometimes you want something a little bit older, like the Evo 3. Put on that like rally racing inspired livery. Or like an Evo 5 especially. The Evo 5s look so nice. Probably my personal favorites of the different Evo generations is Evo 5s. It's got the wide like blister flares. Those just look so good. Especially the Tommy Machinen editions with the side stripes and the bright red interior. Yes. Very much so. Those are really, really nice. Alright, come on, nice and easy through here. Just chuck the car through. Just yeet the machine. Alright, where do we want to brake? Braking here. There we go, that's better. Okay, so we're gonna brake about 20 meters earlier than we... About 20 to 30 meters earlier than we think we do. Yeah, vehicle definitely understeers a little bit too much though. I'm gonna be doing some minor body adjustments, minor suspension adjustments after this race. Lower it a little bit, stiffen it up, and adjust the camber just a little bit more. Turn it more so into a tarmac racer as opposed to a rally racer. Considering that most events in this game are on the asphalt, you know, it kind of makes sense for us to want to do that. Nice and smooth. We got 2 more laps to go, and a turn or 2. Nice and slidey through here. Nice and gentle. Also, I saw a video today of the new like Lamborghini Stelvia, I think it is. What's it called? It's like the off-road, like the off-road package for it. Someone was actually like doing that in like a rallycross course, and oh my gosh, it looks so cool. Like I wouldn't expect like a Lamborghini off-road to sound and look that amazing, but my word, like the video was so. I think it's somewhere on the Discord somewhere. I think I may have posted it there, but oh my gosh, just listening to it and seeing it go around the course, it was nice. Makes you wonder how some of those like off-road versions of sports cars, how will they actually perform off-road? Like if someone were to do like take them around a rallycross course, and then compare them to like more balanced kind of sports cars that, you know, or sporty-ish vehicles like an Evo or like a Subaru Impreza or something like that. Take them around and see which ones are quicker. Like that'd be kind of cool. Like a cool test. See just how will they actually perform on you know, off-road conditions. Like you're obviously not gonna go rock climbing in those, but you can definitely, you know, you can probably also take them through like a city without, you know, worrying about damaging the paint nearly as much, with all the potholes and everything and all the curbs and bumps and speed bumps like that. That's why I'd be kind of afraid to like buy like, you know, a high-end vehicle. Like the roads kind of where I live are not great at times, and so I'm like I'm worried I'd hit like, you know, a pothole or whatever, and I damage, you know, like a $2,000 rim. Because purchasing an expensive luxury or performance vehicle, and then owning a luxury performance vehicle are two very, very different things. You're basically spending quite a bit more money. So even if you save up for the initial purchase, it's the recurring costs, the maintenance, the repairs, all of that stuff. That's the stuff that, you know, can potentially eat away at you. Which is why oftentimes the life cycle for a luxury vehicle, it's first owner, you know, very, very wealthy, or is like meticulously taken care of, and they own it for a very, very long time, and then they sell it for fairly cheap because they depreciate quite a bit, luxury vehicles. And then the second person owns it is like some like early 20-year-old, like late teenager, getting like their first or second vehicle. They're like, ooh, I remember reading about this vehicle, how fast it was and how luxurious it was and everything. And it's only for $7,000. I can afford that. And they buy it, and then all of a sudden, oh no, things start breaking. Maintenance comes around. Oh my gosh, it's $200 for an oil change at the dealership. What is going on? Oh no, the Vanos system on the Beamer has completely failed. What am I gonna do? And then it kind of becomes, you know, absolutely torn apart. Car is completely, you know, falling apart. And then the third owner is usually someone that either restores it back to its former condition, or someone that completely tears it apart and just turns it into like a project, like tuning car or whatever, depending on how close it is towards the luxury versus performance end of the spectrum. And that is usually the life cycle of a luxury vehicle. It's basically starts out as a luxury vehicle and then kind of gradually gets worse and worse for wear, progressively worse for wear as well. But yeah. All right, let's do some minor adjustments here. Stiffen the suspension up a little bit, lower this just a little. I don't want to lower it too much because I don't want to bottom out, because a lot of the courses are very bumpy. I want to reduce the rear diff just a little bit. There we go. That should allow for a much more balanced, maybe a slight oversteer build on the vehicle. One make race. Ooh. One make race full of Evos. That is a potential option. A four-wheel drive limited race here at Tsukuba. I also have the ultimate match. What are we up against here? The Roof CTR. The thing is though, the AI is surprisingly good at handling even like the super sketchy cars around the twisty bits. Do the Lancer race around the Nordschleife. That'd be a fun one to do. We'll do this one and then one more race afterwards, and then we'll end the stream. We've got 2 more races left. But a Lancer specific race. Oh, all these 4-cylinder, really rapid rally cars. Yes! Let's go! 4-wheel drive machines! Alright, I want to get very defensive on this corner because AI get very urgy and burgy. You can see that there. You can also see that bright red Tommy Makinen edition Evo 5. You can see the blister fenders on it, as well as the beautiful livery. That the Tommy Makinen Evo 5 is definitely a dream car. I want to own one. Granted, they never. I don't think they sold them in the States. I think it was like the Evo 7 they began selling Mitsubishis in the States, like the Mitsubishi Evos. So I need to get one imported. Well, I think this is now past the 25 year mark. No, next year. Next year they'll be legal for import. So I think it's a 99 model year was Tommy Makinen edition. They're either legal for import this year or next year. But either way, they're going to be very expensive. If you're not familiar with U.S. gray market imports, so vehicles that aren't normally able to be imported into the States, once they reach a certain age, like I think it's 25 years old, then you can legally import them with the proper paperwork and everything, and the proper like seal from the port authorities, and the proper paperwork from the Department of Transportation. And there are people out there that you pay a decent amount of money to that help you kind of fill out that paperwork, that make sure you can legally import that car to the States without it getting crushed by the government. Gas. Oh yeah, no, this vehicle, very quick. You can tell it still has its rally gearing in because we're maxing out at 140 miles an hour. Jeez, understeer there. But I would love to have the Tommy Makinen Evo 5. But I'm looking at close to, you know, $120,000 for a vehicle like that, and that is money I do not have. I am an engineer. I do make engineer salary, but engineer salary ain't that much. Still though, whoever does own those, very, very lucky people. Very, very beautiful cars. Definitely want to at least see one in real life though. Especially with the custom livery, with the stripes and all of that. It's just so good. It's got the red recurve seats and the lightweight rally wheel as well. Like the interior is mostly stripped down. Listening to this and looking at tiny apartments. Isn't that the truth? No, trust me, home buying is also just very expensive. I'm not sure how it is closer to where you live with like the Illinois, Michigan area, that cheap, but here in Maryland, housing prices kind of pricey. Wife and I, we bought our house back in 2021, and it was yeah, it's a decent sized townhouse, but we're gonna be staying here for a while with the mortgage and everything. Looking at the paperwork and everything like that, we're looking at paying it off by like 2040, assuming payment stays the same and everything like that. So yeah, this will be a house for a little while. But yeah, no, buying houses and homes and everything is it's pricey. Although the prices have gone down a little bit compared to the previous 2 years, but the interest rates have gone up. So you're paying less initially for a house. You're gonna have less down payments. But you're gonna have and you're gonna have a bit less competition with bidding as well. Probably, depending on where you are, because the people aren't going to be buying nearly as many houses with the interest rates being that high. But on the other hand, you're going to be paying a lot more in the in interest over time, unless you can pay off extra on top of the principal for each of your payments. That is where you'll be saving a whole bunch of money if you can get yourself into a situation where you can do that. That I highly recommend that, especially with interest rates being as high as they are right now. You'd be able to save multiple thousands of dollars over the period of the mortgage. Plus, also you pay it off quicker, which, you know, is also a good thing. Means you get more equity quicker. But yeah, no, it's buying a house is very daunting task. The amount of paperwork I had to sign and everything, and just going through the process. Oh my gosh, it was a few sleepless nights. And we kind of managed to get one at the last minute because of you know, wife and I were planning, already had the wedding date set up, and we only managed to buy the house like a month or two before the wedding, and we were like, oh my gosh, we were like just got done moving in like a couple days before the wedding itself, and it was hectic. Actually, we didn't even get fully moved in because the box spring, due to the big C word, the box spring got delayed in shipping, and so we had to use a couple of 2x4s to act as like a makeshift support for the mattress, so that the mattress wouldn't sink down in the bed frame. Oh, it was super ghetto rigged, but it worked, which is good. It's the first time we tried laying down in it without any box string, without any 2x4s, and it just like sunk in right in the middle, and we're like, oh, this is uncomfortable. Interesting Mario Kart. In fact, Paratrooper is the only playable character in Double Dash. There's not a period in the Mario Kart since Layman Tour. Interesting. Kind of wish they would add Paratrooper in. I mean, I don't know, there's a lot of characters that could be added into Mario Kart games that would be very, very solid fits. Like, I'm trying to remember, is Kamek in Mario Kart 8? There's so many in Mario Kart 8, sometimes it's easy to forget. I think if he is, he's like a later DLC character. But he'd also be a very, very good one to add into the Mario Kart games, especially Mario Kart 8, as a playable character. Yes, Kamek was just recently added. Okay, good. I'm like, I think I remember him being in there, but I'm not too familiar. I don't quite remember. We're bouncing off the rim loader at 145. It's like a woodpecker. Oh gosh, that would blow up an engine in real life. Please do not over-rev the engines in real life. Usually that results in piston meeting valve, or a piston going either through the crankcase, the oil pan, or the piston going through the cylinder head. None of which is good, because basically that means you need an entirely new engine. So yeah, don't do that. You know, Kamek is a good one to add. They should definitely add Paratrooper. Maybe a couple more like Donkey Kong characters. A couple Donkey Kong characters would be kind of fun as well. I don't know, there's just so many good like Mario characters. They don't nearly get enough love. They definitely deserve more love. It'd be kind of fun to see them in more later, either current or later Mario Kart games. I got room for one more race. And we're gonna see if there's any vehicles we haven't unlocked yet. That we have here. No. Okay, nothing here. Same thing happened to the Paratrooper happened to Honey Queen in Mario Kart 7. Oh yeah, I remember her! Just vaguely though. She was in like one game and then like just completely got dropped. I wonder, it'd be kind of cool to bring back like all the characters that, you know, didn't, you know, that haven't returned yet as like a big finale. It'd be kind of fun. Anything for the 90s Cup? Jeez, alright, no new vehicles. Ooh. Thank you, Kanye, very cool. Wow, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Alright, that's fine. We'll do a race around the Winter Trom. Us versus a Honda S2000 in the snow. Oh, that poor S2000. Rear-wheel drive, no traction control. Honestly, Donkey Kong Jr. has not returned, but he's in 4. Oh yeah, that's a good point. He'd be a good one to have return as well. Like there's a lot of cool Kong characters that would be kind of fun to either have in Mario Kart, or you know, either to return or to be added as first times. Like Dixie Kong, Candy Kong would be both really cool. Cranky Kong would be a fun one. Oh yeah, also, well that, or, you know, they need, Nintendo needs to make more racing games as well. Like, during the GameCube era, there was so many Nintendo racing games that were very solid. Like, you had, like, the one, like, barrel race with Donkey Kong, with all the Donkey Kong characters. I think it's, like, Diddy's Air Ride or something like that? Diddy Kong Air Ride? That one was a really fun one. You had F-Zero, which was very different than, like, Mario Kart or Air Ride. And there was a Kirby racing game as well. I can't remember that one. Was the Kirby one Air Ride? I know the Kirby, there was a couple of different ones. But like all of them were really solid. The fact that Baby Daisy was brought back in Mario Kart 8, but not Donkey Kong is something. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of, I mean, I understand why like they have the baby characters, because, you know, they're there to kind of provide a lighter weight version of like the princess characters, or, you know, Mario and Luigi and stuff like that. There isn't too many. Oh gosh, brakes in this thing aren't working. There aren't too many small characters in the franchise. Like, you got Toad, you got some of the Koopalings, you got Bowser Jr., you got Toadette, you got Diddy Kong. But like more often than not, you usually get some of the heavier or like middleweight characters. There isn't too many lightweights. I also like how Yoshi kind of fluctuates between being a lightweight character and being a middleweight character, depending on the Mario Kart game. Like they can't make up the minds with the dinosaur. Is he lightweight? Is he middleweight? It depends on the game. Whereas both Mario, Luigi, I think Peach is also middleweight, usually. All of them are usually kind of middleweights, pretty much consistently. And then Rosalina, for some reason, has always consistently been very heavyweight character. I guess to add another princess for, you know, heavyweight classes. People who want to play as a princess, but also want a heavy character. Me personally, I prefer mid to lighter weight characters, and then a lighter weight part for acceleration. That's usually my go-to. Baby Mario and Baby Luigi make sense. Yoshi's Island. Same with Baby Peach. Trying to some time. Baby Daisy and Baby Rosalina make no sense. I guess because, you know, they're already making the baby versions of the Baby Peach, and you already have Rosalina and Daisy in the game. So it'd be kind of a minor palette swap, minor model alteration. It'd be cool if instead of the then again, that might get people upset. But you know how they do like with the Koopalings, where you play as one of them and you can kind of change. I might be thinking of Smash Bros. There's like a couple of characters where you can kind of like pick the color and everything. It'd be kind of cool to be able to do that, but like instead of like just have it start out as like Baby Princess, and then do like either make it Baby Peach, Baby Daisy, or Baby Rosalina from there. Just only really kind of occupying, for lack of better words, one slot. Oh. Also, Baby Rosalina cannot exist in the current state because Zero News bacteria in Super Mario Galaxy. Oh yeah, that's true too. I guess it's a time paradox thingamabob. That or it's her daughter or something like that. Baby Rosalina Jr. or something. I don't know, something silly to add. I forgot that this is a more than 3-lap race. Ignore that. Ignore the cool spin. This is a 5-lap race. Because they go by distance. Fatality. Fatality! Mortal Kombat. I haven't played Mortal Kombat forever. I remember like the crazy like outcry with like all the different fatalities. Like for like the first couple of Mortal Kombats, like every time there was like some sort of like concerned parent that's like, oh my gosh, someone's gonna literally replicate it. And it's like the like cheesiest graphics, and it's like someone literally just breathing fire and making him a skeleton. Like, yes, someone is gonna try to manifest breathing fire, turn someone into a skeleton. Bravo. I have no problem with the normal characters. I love reasoning. Daisy is Baby. Baby version should not exist. Or at the very least, like non-canon versions may be a good option. But yeah, some of the baby. I mean, to be fair though, I'd rather have the baby characters than like the various gold and metal versions of characters. Like Metal Mario, Rose Gold Peach, Gold, like those. I'm not a big fan of those ones. Like of the two, I'd rather have the different baby characters, because at least they're like somewhat different. They're somewhat unique. Literally, the metal versions of characters are literally just like an exact palette swap, and like with their voice lines distorted, and some minor stats change. Like that is I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Understeer. This car is still super understeery. Understeery in the snow. Very understeery in the snow. Just does not want to turn. Even trying to scan and flick it, it just doesn't quite want to behave. There we go, nice and smooth through. Oh gosh, mostly smooth through there. Trying to get this thing to turn in is an exercise in futility. But we got this. Ooh, very close. Yum. And across the line. Nice. Yeah, we kind of smoked the S2000. They don't really consider the different terrains when creating the odd system. There we go. Level up the Evo. Give me some power. Yes. Alright. Cool. Very cool. Alright, with that being said, I am probably going to be ending the stream here. Let me make sure I save this. I want to remember to save it. Alright, take care. Best of luck with all the busy stuff you're going to be doing. Hopefully that goes well for you. With that being said, I'm also going to be ending the stream here. Thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the stream, please leave a like, subscribe. Let me know what I'm doing well in the comments below. If you didn't like the stream, please let me know what I'm doing poorly so I can fix that in the future. That being said, I've been Isaac Umbras. Wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is for you, may it be a great time. And I'll see you all in the next stream. Until then, take care everybody. Bye bye!